Hey guys, Neil with Aviator Q. Welcome back to another episode. Today's video is going to be part of a three-part burger mini-series. We're going to cover everything from purchasing, portioning, and forming the patty. The second part is going to be focused more on the cooking of it. And the third portion is going to be all about expanding on a normal burger. We're going to make it fancy, we're going to show it off, we're going to throw some techniques and recipes in there that'll really make your burgers pop. So enjoy the video, sit back, relax, and welcome aboard. So my idea for making this series came from hazing my friends a little bit. With all the COVID-19 and flying industry being down, there's a lot of pilots just kind of not flying and kind of sitting at home. And about 2-3 weeks ago, a couple of my friends got together. There's 2 captains and a first officer, and they bought these pre-formed patties, and I gave them a hard time for it. And I told them, I was like, if you need help, I can make a video. And one of them replied, he's like, I wouldn't mind watching that. So I kind of started thinking there might be an audience out there for this. So here we go. So meat selection. If we're talking about what ground meat to buy, I always say buy the best meat that you can afford. And if we're talking about the best meat, it's going to be 80-20 ground chuck. If you guys can't get that, or it's a little out of your price range, meat's expensive right now. You can go with a cheaper cut. I'd like to go 80-20. You can go 93. You think you need a little bit of fat in a burger, kind of help hold it together and just give it some flavor. If you go less than 80, just make sure that you give yourself a safe spot on the grill in case of a flare-up. We'll talk more about that in the second spot. But yeah, for me, it's going to be 80-20 ground chuck, slightly over a pound. That'll give me just slightly over a quarter. I make 4 burgers out of that. It'd be slightly over more of a quarter pound burger, and I think that just makes a really good burger. So the meat we're going with today, like I said, the best being 80-20 ground chuck. This is obviously not 80-20 ground chuck. Like I said, you get sometimes what you can find. And right now, the grocery stores seems to be like you're having a hard time finding hamburgers. So this is one of these pre-packaged. It's exactly 1 pound. It's 93 lean. One thing to note: if you previously freeze them, we got a couple pounds of this and we froze them. When you freeze meat, it pushes the moisture out, so you see a lot of blood and water. Previously frozen hamburgers are going to have a little bit different texture than fresh hamburger. What I like to do is cut in. I'm going to dab it with some paper towels, and then kind of just work it together. That'll kind of get some of that wateriness out of it. But we'll get into that here in a minute. All right, so to get into it, sometimes there's an easy peel on these things. I'm just going to kind of go in here and lift, kind of cut up underneath it, and get the back side of it out. The dogs are barking. Courtney may come in, might make a sound. If that happens, we might just pause the audio. Like I said, it's a little wet. I'm just going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to dab it a little bit just to get some of that excess moisture out. And like I said, that's from the freezing process. Freezing kind of pushes moisture out. Alright, so after we kind of dry the meat off a little bit, I take a butter knife. It kind of split right down the middle, but I'm just going to split it into 4s. That'll give me quarter pound burgers. From there, you're just going to work it a little bit. I like to just kind of ball it up, squeeze it back and forth. That kind of gets everything mixed together. Once you get a nice little ball on there, just kind of start to work it up. Then I'll take the knife and I'll use the knife to kind of help hold my edges. So I'll push down in the middle and let the knife kind of form a hard edge on the side. Now the size of the burger, you need to be a little bit bigger than the bun you've got, but you still want it thick enough that it's going to make a decent sized patty. So something like that. If you can see the thickness there. The edges are nice and compact. Now the key thing about handmade patties, when you put them on the grill, sometimes when it groups, the meat will kind of still like to form up. So you take your thumb and you just put a little indentation right there in the middle. Not too thick, you don't want to poke all the way through, but you definitely want to have a little bit of an indentation. And that somehow, I don't know why, but keeps the burger from kind of balling up into a little ball. And set that right there for later. Do the same thing. Work it back and forth a couple times. Get it into a little ball. And just start pressing down on the center. Using the edge of the knife to kind of keep a pretty edge. Just working it back and forth. And putting a little thumbprint right in the middle. Now, if it's going to be a little bit of time between burgers, between the time you make them and get them on the grill, what I like to do is take a little piece of waxed paper and set them in between. What that's going to do, that's going to prevent meat on meat contact. When meat touches meat for a significant amount of time, it's going to turn brown on you. So I'll just put one in, fold it over, put another patty, and then I got another piece ready. We're going to form the rest of these up, then we're going to get them seasoned up, and that's pretty much going to be our tutorial on how to make a patty. Alright, so if you pre-made the patties a little bit before you grill, about the time you light the charcoal is when you want to start getting the seasoning on. If you put it on a little too early, sometimes it can dry out the burger. Keeping it simple, we're just going to go with a little bit of McCormick's Montreal steak. Season both sides on here. Kind of give it a good once over on both sides. Press it in and go on to the next burger. Alright, so now we've got these burgers all formed up, they're pattied out, they're seasoned. Right before the seasoning, we should have gone out to the outside and lit the charcoal, get that all working up. About the time that charcoal's ready, the seasoning will kind of work its way into the meat and it'll be ready to go on the grill. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. Like I said, it's super simple, super straightforward. It started as kind of a rousing of my friends for buying pre-purchased burgers. But what this can do for you, one, it's going to save you more money. Buying a prepaid burger costs more than the meat itself. You're actually paying for somebody to make it. What they're really doing in the store, they're putting it in some kind of a hydraulic press that's got a mold and it just kind of forms it in. Super simple like this. You kind of see what you're getting. You form your own patty. And then like I said, when we get to part 3 and we're really making these fancy burgers, we can do stuff at this stage on a fancy burger that'll really come, we'll play more along this pattying your own burger in the future. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe if you like the content. We're coming up on a year. Still growing the channel. We got lots of content, lots of videos out there for you to watch. But appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you on part 2, which is taking these burgers out to the grill.